What's going on, everybody? I am back with another Prizepicks WNBA player props video. This one going to be breaking it down, giving you guys two picks that you win some money over here on Prizepicks in the WNBA tonight. As always, if you have not checked out Prizepicks, would highly recommend you check them out. It is a player props website and app where you can win money off of picking the over and under on things like players' points, rebounds, and assists, fantasy score, free throws made, etc. Go ahead and use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match on your first deposit up to $100 today. Again, that is code KJK DFS. Go ahead and lock that in, get that free money offer, and start winning some money over here on Prizepicks with these picks today. And if you are going to be very serious, if you enjoy the content, and if you're listening throughout and you're like, oh, this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about, I want some more content from him, you're getting serious, you're playing every single day. The premium content is linked below in the description. It is patreon.com/KJK_DFS. I do offer lower tier packages if you just want to get access to my core plays for the Prizepicks WNBA, Underdog WNBA, etc. And the VIP package is going to give you access to all sports, all apps, all picks that I do cover. So check that out if you're interested. And if you enjoy the content, it would be greatly appreciated if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. So we got a 2-game slate today. We'll go ahead and break this thing down. We do have some injury news that we're waiting on, so I'm going to give you guys two picks of the games that aren't going to be affected by injury, or the game that won't be affected by injury news and or we already have confirmation on. So let's talk about it. So the first game that I would like to discuss is going to be the Minnesota Lynx taking on the Los Angeles Sparks. Natasha Cloud, this is the game time decision for the Washington Mystics, so that's some really, really big news. So all the props have pretty much been taken off the board for the Mystics. We're waiting on that stuff to be re-uploaded. That's the early game anyway, so this late game should allow you to get these picks in today. 163.5 over under, decent total, not the highest we've seen throughout the year though. And want to discuss a little bit of a game theory thing here recently with the WNBA. If you've been playing the WNBA, it has been very versatile, meaning it's been a little bit up and down, a little bit unpredictable, crazy. There's been a bunch of different new teams going on. Tonight, the Sparks, the Minnesota Lynx, as far as how these two teams are going to shape up. Jessica Shepard's expected to be out for the Lynx. Ariel Powers expected to be out for the Lynx. We have one of the Wnba sisters, Lexi Brown, out for the Los Angeles Sparks, which should increase the usage for multiple players. And ironically, I kind of have some interest in the unders on both of the top players on each team. So I'll break down why. Number one, Nafisa Collier. So as far as why I do like her under. Talked about the high versatility of the WNBA. She's been on an absolute tear. She's been crushing. You look at her overall metrics on the season. Playing phenomenal. She's got a 32.9 minutes per game as far as her minutes per game rate, 20.2 points per game, 14.7 field goals attempted per game. She's shooting 46% from the field, 87% from the free throw line, putting up 38 Prizepicks fantasy points per game. She does have a little bit of a personal foul issue, I will say, and as far as the turnovers are concerned, she does turn the ball over a little bit as well. But what I want to discuss is these fantasy score props are now getting to the point of where they're pretty dialed in, and I'm starting to think they're a little bit on the ceiling side of the projection of these ladies. So let's go ahead and pull it up as far as her recent game logs, what Prizepicks has her at, all that fun stuff. And you can see her current fantasy score prop is now set to 39.5. So she's cleared this in each of the last two games after putting up less than 3 of the last 5. So 26, 38, 34, and then 46, 51. I talked about them dealing with some injuries, so obviously that's going to increase her usage, but what I also think that's going to do is going to allow the defense to key in on her even more, which is something we're going to talk about on the other side of this game as well. So Nafisa Collier, you can see 36, 33, 37, 40, 31, 34. Her minutes have been pretty versatile after playing, like the low 20s to right around 30. Now she's playing more so in the mid-30s to upper 30s, 40 at times. Only 31 in this game, though, where she didn't even get foul trouble. So the minutes have been pretty versatile. And the last 2 times out, she's been playing in the mid to low 30s. Has put up 24 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds, 3 steals last time out with 1 turnover. As you can see, the turnovers prior, 3, 5, and 4. So what am I getting at here? Is I think that this fantasy score prop continues to climb. Her floor is much, much lower than this prop. So this is what I want to talk about with the versatility of the WNBA. It's crazy. It's all over the place. Like typically when we're talking about NBA projections, the floor and the ceiling, there are some versatile players. But when it comes to WNBA, it's like every single player in the league is versatile. Meaning, so I have her floor in my projections like at 20, and her ceiling is all the way up in the mid 40s. So obviously she can clear this prop, but the difference between her fantasy score prop right now and her floor is pretty extreme. So it gives me a lot of interest in the under here. It's a great matchup. First of all, they're 11th in the league, so it's like it's a little bit of like reverse psychology even discussing this. But I think anyone that knows projection systems or understands what I'm saying gets it. Like the versatility is so crazy, and there's more things that can go right or wrong for her to go under than over. Foul trouble, we talked about. She has some foul trouble issues. Turnovers, she has some turnover issues. And now, of course, this fantasy score prop just keeps increasing. Like a lot of these ladies, they started like Nafisa Collier at the beginning of the year. We're talking like in the low 30s. Now she's had a few good games. Now she's in the upper 30s. Can she go over? Yes. Is she a phenomenal player? Yes. Are there players out there that are going to increase her usage? Yes. But I just talked about how that can actually backfire as well, because there should be even more defensive attention on her. And I just think with the versatility, all these things that we're going to discuss, it's kind of going to be kind of the theme of this video, because there's two props that now are inflated to the point of where I think the under has more value. Nafisa Collier is going to be the first one. Can she go over? Yes. I think I explained my reasoning pretty logically there. But the versatility in WNBA has been crazy. More things can go wrong for her. Injury, you never hope for a player to get injured, but if she gets injured, she has to leave the game, foul trouble, etc. These are all things that could impact her and have her go under here tonight. And I do lean the under 39.5. So that's going to be pick number 1 here. And then pick number 2, this is kind of the same thing. Like I said, it's going to be kind of the theme of the video, the versatility of WNBA. Now these lines being adjusted, they're being a little bit inflated. We do have injuries on both sides of the ball. That's going to put even more pressure on these top 2 players. But like I said, that should allow the defense to key in on them even more, one would think. So that's going to be pick number 1 there for Nafisa Collier. And then pick number 2, we're going to go over to the other side of this game. Same thing can be discussed on the other side with Nika Wnba. So dealing with some injuries. Her sister Shanae might be out, Thomas out, Lexi Brown out, Clarendon, Clouden. So same thing as the Lynx here. You can argue that's increased usage. I get it. I'm going to take the vantage point of even more defensive attention on both of these top 2 players. So I think that obviously the Sparks are going to be really dialed in on slowing down Collier. And I think that the Lynx are going to be really dialed in on slowing down Nika Wnba. It's going to be like a don't allow the star player to beat us kind of vibe, especially with these other players out. Believe it or not, that's just going to put even more attention from the defense on the star players. I think that can cause some issues. And we did discuss how, it's once again an inflated line. Like Nika Wnba was someone that I've been promoting the over a lot on this channel. She was in the mid-30s for fantasy score, though. Her minutes were down. Now she's starting to play a little bit more minutes. Once again, talented player all around, 56.9% from the field, 89% from the free throw line. These are all great things. She can get some blocks, steals. She, once again, does have a personal foul issue, though. 4.3% personal foul rate. Talking about another player that can get some foul trouble and a 14% turnover rate, just naturally being out there on the court for so much. There's going to be some turnovers that could negatively affect her fantasy score. And once again, I think we're starting to see her be more towards her ceiling. So let's go ahead and pull up her fantasy score prop over here on Prizepicks. They have her set at 42.5. She hasn't cleared this in each of the last 2. She's been in the upper 30s after clearing it in 3 of the last 5. And now she's once again dealing with a little bit of less help on the side. No Wnba possibly, no Lexi Brown, who's a great shooter. And do expect the defense to be honed in on her. And then once again, when we're looking at from a projection aspect, she's kind of towards her ceiling. I mean, I've got her ceiling in the mid-40s, her floor once again in the upper 20s. So the difference between her floor and her ceiling in the mid projection is just crazy. That's a trend in the WNBA, like I discussed. NBA, like there are players like this, but it's not nearly as common. I think this is going to be a theme of mine as I'm going throughout this WNBA season of almost targeting players on the high and the low end. So if they have, a highly versatile player like Nika Wnba, they have a bunch of good games, and the projection starts to inflate, going to go ahead and target that under. If she has a couple bad games, like let's say tonight she goes out there and only scores, like I said, on her ceiling. Let's say Nika just has a terrible game and she puts up 28 fantasy score, not even close. Then, maybe her projection comes back down to like upper 30s, 37.5, then we can go ahead and target that over again. So that's kind of my thought process. That's my reasoning for this video today. That's my thought behind these picks. I think they're getting a little bit too inflated with these lines. A lot of things can go wrong, foul trouble, injuries, etc. Once again, they're dealing with injuries on both sides, which could increase the usage, but it's also going to increase that defensive attention towards really slowing down the key player, of course. So that's pick number 2. We're going with the under 42.5 fantasy score here for Wnba, and that will be my 2 picks to get you win some money over on Prizepicks in the Wnba tonight, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. It is free. It takes 2 seconds to do. It does good to help me out, and I'll be helping you guys out with these videos for free all Wnba season long. You can check out the premium content. Link below in the description, patreon.com/KJK_DFS. We got MLB and Wnba going on right now. I have to go ahead and take the NBA packages down, actually, so that reminds me. But you can use the promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match on your first deposit up to $100 as well if you have not signed up for Prizepicks today. Wishing you guys all the best of luck on your Prizepicks Wnba player props tonight, and we will see you in the next one.